If you have a $1 bill, you're going to want to watch this video because we're going over some really rare $1 bills that are selling online for a ton of money. Let's get right into this video. Up first, we have a $1 bill that looks really beat up that sold for $1,020. Now, it's not because it's a star note. You see the star at the end of the serial number? That means that this bill was printed and then there was a mistake on one of the sheets, so they destroyed that sheet, made a new sheet to replace that specific bill. Pretty crazy, right? But the star note is not why it sold for so much money. It's actually because this is what we call a web note. So web notes, there are three ways you can tell if you have one. If you have one of these things, by default, you have all three and you have a web note. To keep a long story short, a web note is a different printing process. The BEP wanted to try a new method which would use a continuous roll the same way a newspaper does to see if they would increase production. That was great and it had them produce a lot of bills. However, the biggest issue was there was a ton of mistakes. So they scrapped that idea. 1988, you want to be looking for these to see if you have a web note. First of all, Washington's portrait is going to look more washed out on a web note. Second place is going to be the front plate position is going to have just a number. The easiest way and the way that I typically look for is on the back. You're going to have the back plate position. Instead of it being at the bottom right, it's going to be to the right of In God We Trust. If you have that, that means you have a web note worth a lot of money. This one sold for $1,020. Same situation here. It's another web note, except it's in better condition and it's not a star note. This one sold for $1,140. So here's something not many people know about. It's a better condition web note that was found in circulation with a specific block run starting with the F at the start of the serial number and N at the end of the serial number. This is an FN block run, very rare web note, and it sold for $1,920. $2,640 for this star note. Biggest thing on this specific bill is going to be the serial number. So look at the start of the serial number. You're going to see at the bottom left it starts with G114 and at the top right it starts with G004. Because this is a mismatched serial number error, it sold for $2,640. Serial numbers are super important. Look at this bill that sold for $1,320. It is a solid number 3 serial number, and because it has that really cool and unique serial number, it sold for $1,320. Really beat up note here, except it's a solid number 1 serial number. Even though it's in really poor condition, understand that the higher the grade your bill is in, the more money it's going to be worth. This example sold for $4,320. Last but not least, we have a serial number 1 bill. That is one of the most sought after serial numbers when it comes to fancies. You can also see there's a bit of a pen mark here on the left saying 50. Oops, that's not good. It will detract from the value. However, it still sold for $6,600. If you want to learn more about coins and paper money, we have a completely free coin and currency ebook down below. Pick that up and we'll see you in the next video.